Okay, go ahead and read over here.
Organisms that live in an environment can cause huge changes. Changes can be both harmful and helpful. For example, when beavers make a
Slow
dam,
down just a tad, sweetheart.
they cut down many trees that provide food and shelter for other living things. In addition, the dam slows the flow of water, which affects animals that rely on faster flowing water to live. On the other hand, the dams produce wetlands, which provide homes for other organisms.
Okay. All right, Liza, read there. So right now, so the changes can be either harmful or helpful, kind of like our risks that we talked about, remember, guys, with technology, the benefits and the risks, right? There's always a good, there's always a bad, always, okay, with medicine, any kind of change, all right, so anything that we do. Okay, Miss Liza, continue on page 268, please.
Sometimes changes happen in an ecosystem. They can even harm humans. In the large
Algae.
algae and bodies of water reproduce rapidly. The algae release large amounts of harmful chemicals into the water and cause oxygen levels to drop. The resulting condition is known as white tide.
Red tide, red tide.
Which can kill fish and other wildlife and trees. When people experience red tide, officials post signs warning people to stay out of the water.
Okay, all right. So, Savannah, read down there at the bottom and quit drawing in your book. The algae.
The algae that make up a red tide release harmful chemicals and use up oxygen that fish need to breathe.
Okay, so algae are just, it's an overproduction, and it's actually part of their life cycle, okay? It's actually part of their life cycle. So it's good for the algae, but bad for the environment and for other fish, right? Okay, so again, there's your good and bad. Okay, page 269, up at the top, okay? Tatum, read up there about beavers, please, ma'am.
Beavers change their environment by building dams across streams. Dams cause flowing water to back up and form ponds. These changes create environments where new plants and animals can establish themselves.
Okay, all right, so you can have, there again, it's good and bad. And it's good for the beaver, but bad for other animals, right? Exactly, so it's the same thing. Okay, so what do you think here, guys? It says contrast. So Brian, read right there.
Describe a way that the activities of beavers can be helpful to the ecosystem, and then describe one way in which their activities can be harmful.
Okay, so what do you think? You've got a beaver dam, right? Okay, and that's actually their home. Okay, that's where they actually live. So what do you think would be harmful about that, or helpful or harmful? What do you think? Does anybody know? Anybody know? Okay, Braylon? The beavers have like a home. Very good. Okay, and for you guys to know, this is what their home. I mean, this is what it looks like. Okay. Okay. Well, I hate Trist. Okay. Let's try this one. Oh goodness. Okay. Well, it's not going to let me do that, so we'll just make it big. Okay, so that's what the beaver dam looks like. Okay, so this is what we see above water. Do you guys see that? And so look what it does. It makes these little isolation of these little pond areas, but this is where they're living. Okay? Can you guys see that okay or not? Kind of? Okay, how about this one? This one looks probably better. Quit. Well, goodness gracious. Okay. Come on. Goodness. Okay, quit now. Okay, there. Well, goodness. What happened to everything? It's not letting me get bigger here because it's Pinterest. I'm sorry, guys.
Teachers are missing everything's messing up.
Okay. Anyway, I'll have to get a better diagram. But anyway, that's where they live, okay, guys? So that's where they live. Okay, so that's what they do, okay? All right. Okay. All right, so, yes, Lena. It what? It slows the flow, doesn't it? Okay. Okay. So it slows the flow of water. Yeah, and so when you don't have the flow of water, you've got stagnant water, right? Okay. And it's not good for the other animals. Okay, yes, Brian?
Yeah, if there's plenty in it, but it might get short and dry out.
Right. Okay, yes. So it may dry out or dry up in areas. Very good. Okay, and Braylon, you said earlier that the beavers have a home, right? Isn't that what you said earlier, Braylon? Okay. Yeah, so beavers have a home, so that way they'll continue that species. We want beavers around. Okay. What else do you think can happen? Yeah, Tatum?
It can stop overpopulating.
Stop overpopulation of other organisms, or okay, yes. Stop overpopulation.
When you think about that, that can be good and bad.
Yes. Yeah. Of other organisms. Yeah, guys, isn't this amazing? It's good and it's bad, but it's part of nature. This is how beavers work, right? This is what they do. Okay? Yes, Kyson.
This is more helpful, but it provides other homes
It provides other homes
for
for.
other organisms.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, they can other organisms. Yeah. Other organisms can use the beaver home. Yeah. Meaning all the sticks and stuff that are on top. So insects, lizards, right? That's a good one, Kyson. Yeah, Lena.
Yeah, they cut down a lot of trees.
Huh? Pardon me?
Cut down a lot of trees.
They cut down a lot of trees. So is that harmful or helpful? Harmful. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Look, okay. You guys ready to go on?
Yeah.
I'll let you guys finish writing that down. Okay? Okay. Jesus, read about the goats, please.
Goats, sheep, and other grazing animals remove grass and other plants from an environment. When too many animals graze in an area, they eat grass faster than they can go back.
Okay. So there are two. Okay, and we talked about this prior. Remember goats? I said they eat about anything and everything, right? Weeds and about everything. They're great. They're fun animals, huh? Paper, yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
it's
So-
my goat and your homework.
Oh yeah, my goat ate my homework. I don't think so. But anyway, so a lot of times you can overgraze, and that just can totally. Then you have no ground cover. Then it can wash, right? If you have Wayne, okay. All right. Did you guys get this or? Okay. So yeah. So if you're going to keep goats, sheep, and other grazing animals, that's what they call rotational grazing. Okay. It's a lot of work, but rotational grazing is very good to move. What you do is you have little fences, fenced off areas, and you have a scheme, a diagram of your pasture, and you can move your animals around in a certain time. That way, when you move them, it gives the land that they were on previously time to recover. Okay? So it works. I know people who do this. It does take a lot of work. Okay? You can't just let them go out there. They're kind of grouped together, but only for a very short time. and then they move, and they think, oh, it's horrible to move them. No, because the animals are smart enough, they think, hey, there's new food, I'm going, right? So it's not, it takes only a couple times for them to train, and they know, hey, I'm going to some new ground, new food. Yes, Tatum.
I have girls who just expanded their things and now they have about an acre and a half more of land.
Uh-huh. That's cool. Good. Okay, page 270. 270. Invasive species. Invasive species. Okay. Invasive. Do you guys know what invasive means? Yes. Large or big? No? Almost. What do you think, Cassie?
They take over.
They take over. They move in. Right? Isn't that right? Yep. You are invading my territory, right? So if you're invading my territory, that means you're moving in on me, right? Yep. Okay. All right. Oscar, read this, please, sir.
You may have seen a movie where space aliens invaded Earth. Invasions happen on Earth every day. Here's what happens when a new species moves into an environment.
Okay. All right. Bentley, start reading here.
Sometimes the population of species grows quickly after they are
Introduce.
into a new environment. This type of organism is called invasive species. Invasive species take very place away from native species. The organisms are living in the ecosystem. The factors that limit the growth of new species such as predators, pests, and diseases do not affect invasive species.
Okay. All right. Let me stop right there. Okay. So invasive species. So they are introduced into the environment, and they're like, whoa, and they can thrive, and they've got tons of food to eat, and they can have lots of little ones, and they just continue to thrive. So, but what that does, remember our limiting factors, our competition, food, space, water, shelter. Remember our 4 things on our organization of ecosystems? Okay. So these invasive species move in and they start competing with the native species. Native, okay? I'm a native Oklahoman. In fact, I'm a native from Weatherford. What does that mean?
You moved in?
Right. I'm a native of Weatherford.
Moved in?
You were born here?
I was born here. That's correct. Yeah. I'm a native, okay? That's where you are born and raised. Okay? Yes, I was born in the old hospital across from the new fire station. Okay, in those baseball fields. Okay?
What happens if you were born in Texas but raised in Oklahoma?
Then you are kind of an immigrant or you've moved in. Yeah, like that's what would be the proper term. It's no big deal. Okay?
I'm a native.
Okay? All right, so again, guys, and so
Excuse me, teacher, sorry to interrupt. We have a Vera Bradley lunchbox. It is navy with pink flamingos on it. If someone is missing that, please send them to the office. Thank you.
wow. Okay. All right. The factors, and so the factors that normally would affect the species that are there, the natives, like predators, pests, disease, the ones that have come in, the invasive, it doesn't bother them. Well, guys, if it doesn't bother them, what are they going to do? They're going to out-compete the native. Does that make sense? Okay, because remember we talked about our competition, and that limits the growth population? Yeah? Remember we talked about that? Okay. All right, so we ended right there. Okay, Neely, continue from there, hon.
The two species compete for resources.
There you go, right there. And that, right, doesn't that make sense? Okay.
If no other species in the ecosystem can use the invasive
there is no limit to its expansion. Invasive species often threaten less competitive organisms that have lived in an environment for a long time.
Okay, does that make sense, guys, from what we've been talking about? Yes? Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, so up here, okay, Cameron, read about here about native harvester ants.
Populations of native harvesters.
Harvester ants,
Harvester ants have been destroyed in its invasive fire ants move into harvester and ant habitat and successfully competed within resources.
Okay. So, has anybody ever seen, if you've been in Texas, has anybody ever seen the fire ants?
Oh God.
Has anybody?
I
Yes.
stepped into it.
They are horrible. Okay. Yes, I was standing when I was down in Austin at a conference. I was standing on the street corner looking at the light in downtown Austin, okay? I was looking at this light to turn so I could walk across the street. And I thought, oh my word, something hurts so bad on my leg. Those little stinkers were crawling up my leg, biting me in my pants. I thought I was going to die. 1 or 2 bites is fine. But the thing of it is, all these little dudes, I mean, they are itty bitty. And they just swarm, and they all bite at once. I just thought I was going to die. Yeah, so I probably looked like a doofus on that corner, banging my pant legs, jumping up and down. I boogied back to my hotel room. I ran some cold water on it, got in a cold tub. It was so bad.
When I stepped in it, I was turning around at her to walk, and I stepped right into it. But then I just shook them off.
And they came up from Texas, okay? Now, the only good thing about these dudes is they do control boll weevils in cotton fields, okay? They came up from Texas. My husband, when he used to deliver farming equipment, down to Texas, or when he went down to Texas to get equipment to bring to Oklahoma, they would check. He would have to stop at the DOT stations, and they would check all of the tires and everything, the inside and the outside of the equipment, to make sure he wasn't bringing in fire ants. Okay? So, yeah, isn't that amazing? Because they were such an invasive species. Now, and I haven't seen any, thank goodness, in Oklahoma, but I did in Texas, okay? They're awful, aren't they awful? Yeah. Yes, Kyson.
Sometimes I could just go to the summer of my plot, and he has this like an acre field, and he has sheds and stuff. And every time we go out there, he makes sure to put bug spray on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Triggers and ants.
Yeah. Okay, Addison.
I found a caterpillar in my bathroom.
A what?
A caterpillar in my bathroom.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, I found a caterpillar too at the lake. That's like an ant.
Yeah.
It's like
They're really fuzzy and, yeah, they're kind of pretty.
In,
Okay, Addison. Okay. Shh. Okay, read about zebra mussels, please, ma'am.
Zebra mussels are invasive to North America. They were accidentally carried to the Great Lakes and both of ocean-going ships. Zebra mussels now grow in large populations that are totally covered surfaces, block water outlets, and clog pipes and lakes. They have invaded.
Okay, so zebra mussels. And you're thinking, oh, they're so pretty, but they just overpopulate like everything, okay? So zebra mussels, and if you notice the Great Lakes, okay? And if you guys know anything about the Great Lakes up around Michigan, okay, those are the Great Lakes. They're all interconnected. They're all interconnected, okay? So what that means is if something gets in one lake, guess what? It gets in all of them, okay? So you have these zebra mussels, and they are very, they over-reproduce. So they have tons and tons and tons and tons of babies, okay? So those are very invasive as well, and they can cause many, many problems, okay? Lamprey are another invasive species, lamprey, another invasive species of the Great Lakes. Okay, and I'll show you a picture of them. They're cool looking, but they're really nasty. And what they do is they are a parasite, a huge parasite. They look like a huge eel, and they suck onto the fish, and it scars the fish. So you're saying, so what's the big deal about that? Well, with the lamprey, it makes scars on the fish that they catch for food. Okay, so that's not good for the fishermen who that's their livelihood. Does that make sense? Okay, Tatum?
Does anything eat the zebra mussels?
No, and nothing eats the lamprey either. Okay, yeah, so that's the big thing about lamprey and zebra mussels. Yeah. Okay. All right, the brown anole. Okay, Lena, read about the brown anole. Anoles. Died out. Okay, so again, there you go. That's an example of the native species that died. Okay, Braylon, read right here about the green anoles.
Native green anoles do not compete with the
Invasive.
invasive brown olive well enough to survive.
Okay, so if you can't compete, that's kind of like in football, basketball, baseball, whatever. If you can't compete, you're going to get beat out, right? Okay. Unfortunately, you don't. When you have play football, it's not your life. With the green anoles, okay, they died out. Okay, so nature seems kind of cruel on that, doesn't it? Okay. All right. So read about the plants, Leif. Plants can be.
Plants can be invasive too. Japanese honeysuckle grows quickly. It covers the ground with thick tangles of vines and leaves. A full-grown honeysuckle uses large amounts of water and walks somewhat, preventing native plants from growing. Originally planted in gardens, Japanese honeysuckle spread out beyond the garden's wall. It had been planted when birds and the get seeds into the natural environment.
Yeah. Okay, so Japanese honeysuckle, and it looks pretty, doesn't it? Doesn't it look pretty on your page? Because mine's black and white. But isn't it pretty on your page? Yep. Nice and green. Okay, Brian, Connor, that's what it looks like. So it's nice and pretty, isn't it? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, and it probably tastes good to animals and stuff, but still, it overgrows and it cuts out everything. Okay? So, huh? Yeah, it'd be hard to walk around, and it's just everything. Connor, can you read that? Read that right there. Choose wisely.
What would you say to someone who was thinking about planting Japanese honeysuckle in the garden?
Okay, Oscar.
Supervision, like discipline.
Yeah, strong supervision on it. Would you encourage it, though?
No.
I would strongly discourage, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Okay, because if I have pretty flowers, I mean, yeah, it's a beautiful plant, but if I've worked hard and have a nice, pretty garden, I don't want that stuff, right? Okay? Okay? All right, in Oklahoma, has anybody ever heard about kudzu?
What? No.
Kudzu.
No. I think
Okay?
I've heard of it, but no.
Kudzu. Okay? All right, I'm going to show a little quick video from OSU about what is a big deal about kudzu in Oklahoma. Okay?
I'm sure it's the white lamprey.
Do what, hon?
Can you show us a picture of a lamprey?
Oh, yes, and I will show you a picture of a lamprey, you bet.